On a gloomy autumn night, showing the stroke of midnight, the small town of Ravenswood was silent. However, as every year, the townsfolk were preparing for the traditional Halloween festival. But this year they would face the dark side of Halloween, the first day of the festival. There was great fun in the town square. People dancing under colorful lights had transformed into frightening characters. With their costumes, however, as the night progressed, strange events began to unfold in the town. First, some claimed to see shadows dancing in the dark streets. Then there were reports of strange sounds and whispers of being watched from dark corners. But the most terrifying of all were the missing children. Each day of the festival, news spread throughout the town of another child gone missing. Searches proved fruitless, and the children did not return one by one. The townsfolk were in a panic, and the spirit of Halloween had been overshadowed by darkness. One night, a group of brave townsfolk ventured into the dark forest to find the missing children. However, they fell into the clutches of an evil lurking in the woods. A whispering voice from the shadows guided them deeper into the darkness with every step. Finally, in the depths of the forest, they witnessed a horrifying ritual. A coven of witches was offering the bodies of the missing children to a demonic entity. But the witches were discovered, and a malevolent battle ensued. The brave townsfolk fought to rescue the children, but the entity was too powerful. After the battle, the witches fled, and the entity retreated back into darkness. However, the missing children did not return, and the town was never the same after that dreadful Halloween night. Every year, the townsfolk remembered the missing children and the horror of that dark night, and Halloween celebrations became a mere memory. Dr. Vincent Stone walked quietly through the dim corridors of the mental health hospital around him. The moans and cries of patients with deep darkness in their eyes echoed. However, these sounds were now just background noise for him. He was filled only with the excitement and obsession of experimenting as he roamed these halls. Dr. Stone knew no bounds when it came to conducting experiments in the field of psychiatry. For him, patients were just experimental subjects, equipped with the latest technologies in artificial intelligence and neurology. His laboratory had surpassed mere scientific research. This hospital had become his personal laboratory. However, something had begun to go awry. In his latest experiments, the interventions he conducted on patients had yielded much darker results than expected. One by one, patients were dying after the experiments, and the spirits of these deceased were beginning to haunt Dr. Stone. One night, as he progressed through the old elevator of the hospital, the power suddenly went out. In the darkness, only painful whispers could be heard. For a moment, a chill ran down Dr. Stone's spine. Despite his attempts to illuminate, his flashlight could only offer limited visibility. Suddenly, a cold air filled the elevator, and the darkness surrounding Dr. Stone intensified. His heart raced, and his breath caught in his throat. At that moment, he saw a faint silhouette appearing directly across from the elevator. The spirit of a dead person was approaching him. Terrified, Dr. Stone recoiled, but there was nowhere to escape. As the power remained out, the elevator began to tremble and slowly descend. In a panic, the doctor found himself lying on the ground when he regained consciousness. When he opened his eyes, there was only darkness and silence around him. However, as his consciousness returned, he realized that he was no longer alone, lost in the depths of his own creations of darkness. Dr. Vincent Stone had become ensnared in his own nightmares. On hot and oppressive summer days, for close friends reunited after a long time to spend their summer vacation together, as soon as they made their decision, they agreed to meet at an old lake house, despite the fact that the lake house had been abandoned. For a long time, it seemed like a perfect getaway for them. On the first day, they spent enjoyable time under the sunlight, reminiscing about old memories, laughing, and having fun. However, on the evening of the second day, the friends decided to go night hunting. They prepared to hunt in the forest near the lake house and set off when darkness began to fall. While wandering in the forest, they unexpectedly discovered a clearing where deer grazed quietly. The four friends quietly lay in wait and aimed at a deer. However, as the gun went off, silence fell over the forest. The sound of the gun disturbed a group of masked hunters nearby. Suddenly, the masked hunters began to chase the four friends. They ran panicked through the forest, but lost their tracks in the darkness. While trying to find each other, they were separated one by one and quietly captured. The friend who remained alone ran with all his strength and finally reached the town. Breathlessly, he told the sheriff what had happened. The sheriffs immediately set off for the forest to find a mysterious hunting group. However, when they arrived in the forest, darkness and silence enveloped them. The masked hunters had begun to hunt down those who were hunting them, one by one. The sheriffs became victims of the mysterious hunters. The mysterious hunters were searching for the fourth friend, who returned to the town. When they found him, he tried to escape in fear, but couldn't stop them. Eventually, he too disappeared into the depths of the silent forest without a trace. From that day on, the old lake house remained abandoned. No one dared to step into that forest again.